Hello, dear viewers. This is me, Asmita, and I'm back after a very long, prolonged period of absence. And since it's a new year, I have started reading. Quite surprising that last year I thought that I will be posting weekly videos of me reading books and giving my opinion and my experiences with the text. But unfortunately, I just didn't read much, and that just gave me hope for another year, and here I am. Uh, I started reading, but this time I didn't start with any big book because I know if I won't be able to finish it, I would just stop reading because I'll just uh, feel I'll just lose the hope of finishing any book. So I started reading a novella, a very short novel. It's White Nights by Fyodor Dostoevsky, and I have a tough time pronouncing his name because A, he's Russian, B, I am Indian. And the reason I bought this book was I liked the cover because White Knights, the copies of White Knights that are available online, it's just that black and white wala cover, and this was the only one in which the two characters were there. And surprisingly, I was wearing a similar cardigan, pink cardigan, the day I saw this book, and that just felt like universe is giving me a sign that Asmita, you should definitely start your year by reading White Knights. And universe devastated me, and I devastated myself. Like, I just chose a very wrong time to read it because I was sick, and I made myself like physically I was already sick, and I just made myself mentally by reading it because by the ending is just so heartbreaking that it just makes you question the entire idea of love. Like, but when you think more about it, you are able to see through characters, that why they behave the way they do, and it is quite natural for them to behave like that because even in real life people behave a certain way because of a lot of reasons. It's not because they are bad, because they are a bad person, but because it is much more because of how they have been nurtured throughout and how things have happened in their life. So that was one thing. And I don't have script, I just have pointers. So, one quote from this book that I think I really want to share is that how can one live and have no story to tell? Which is a very simple thing. Like, we all know this, that every person who is living around us, or even the non living things around us, they have a story of their own. And it really takes a dreamer, a writer, or a person who is just so lively, or someone who is just full of life to just understand the essence of things and capture it. And that is really beautiful. Like, having a story, like everyone is having a story. And the character, the narrator in the story, like, he was a very lonely man. And like initially we feel a lot of pity for him, that he's so lonely, that he talks with buildings at times. But I just realized that, oh, even I talk to buildings, but I can't call myself lonely. It will be just so uh, like, it's like generalizing that if I talk to buildings I am lonely, but that is alarming. So and I think, yeah, the narrator was a very lonely man, and the way his character has been built, it is it is very beautiful. Like, we get into his mind, how he thinks, how whenever he speaks like in a very profound manner. Like he goes on speaking at length and without stopping. Like from one topic he goes on to some other topic. And when the girl, um, she that is her name is also very difficult to pronounce, Nastenka, because Russian names are difficult to pronounce, and the narrator has not been named in the text, which is also, I think, an important point to note. But I don't want to talk about the literary aspects or criticize or comment on anything, the literary terms. I won't use that because I'm not doing that. I am just willing to share, I'm just here to share the experience I had while reading it and why I think you should also read it, because it is a very short story, not even more than 100 pages. And I think, yes. Secondly, it has a theme of unrequited love, like one-sided love that is never fulfilled. Um, like the narrator, like he was lonely, very lonely. He had no friends, absolutely no one. But there was this thing about him that it was not like he was very upset with his loneliness. He he was fine with it. But one day when he met the girl, it just changed his life. It just gave him a new perspective to look at things in a way that he was never able to see it that way. And even till the end he was fortunate. Like he even thanked her that, like, it was because of her that he was able to see things better, and he got his will to live again. It's very beautiful that he associated his will to live with a girl who in a way deceived her. Like, I won't reveal the entire story. I think everyone should read it because it is very engaging. Like, there are only 4 chapters, and it's very engaging, and you feel like ab kya hoga, the day she will meet her lover or not. And the last chapter will leave you like this. I was also sitting like this कि अरे ये क्या हो गया, ये तो मैंने सोचा ही नहीं था, मेरे को तो कुछ और लगा था, ये नहीं होना चाहिए था. Like there should have been an alternative ending. But that is what Dostoevsky does. He just gave you a story, like, to contemplate. Like initially, like I also sympathized with the girl. Ki yaar, no, she had a difficult life also, like growing up without parents, with her grandmother. She never had a life of her own, and it was quite natural for her to miss her former lover, and she loved him so much. And for her, love meant waiting. It also brings out different aspects of love, that at times love is waiting, other times love is just letting go, and at times love is uh, anger. It brings out anger in you, and for for others it might be just it brings the best in you. But it's just whatever happens, like you should let those emotions come out. The idea is like no one should be a half lover, everyone should be a complete lover. That is the idea. And yes, initially I sympathized with Nastenka's character, that she was having a difficult life. But when I reached the end, I was so angry that how could she do that? Like no one should do that. And I felt so bad for the narrator. Like Why? Why did this happen with him? Like, no one deserves that in life. But then, like, I just I was just looking at it very emotionally. Uh, the narrator himself, I think um he was never angry at her. Like, throughout her encounters with her, he knew that, he will never get her. He knew that. Even when she was telling him that, you know, I can I can live with you, I will love you. Even then, he was not, he was somewhere quite unacceptable of that, because for him, loving was not about, you know, about her, that he wanted something in return. It was just loving, it was just his love, it was just his part of happiness. And I think this is beautiful, but at the same time, it just makes you, it it really makes you sad that, it should have been a mutual affection. But but it's a story again. I am just I just get too much into the character and emotional analysis, that why did she do that, why. But then I thought to myself that she had her reason. Again, I can't reveal the entire story, but fine. And it's a magical story for sure. Like, uh, their meetings, their encounters, their conversations, and the one passage in which he talks about who is a dreamer, like how um, he gives an entire definition of how he thinks he is an eternal dreamer. And I just felt like he's talking about me. That they just live in their house and in one corner of the city, just saying. And I think it was a great start for me to go with Dostoevsky, as I think now I will go for other of his works, but I don't want to depress myself again. Because this was quite depressing. Like, I enjoyed it. In between, I was just giggling so much that, oh wow, this is so fascinating. But when the end came, I was just so unhappy. And the ending lines, my god, a whole moment of happiness. Is that too little for the whole of a man's life? He was happy with bare minimum in his life, which just shows how he was as a person. Like, someone who was lonely throughout his life, who never knew what it means to love or to be loved. That was for the narrator. And I got this beautiful bookmark also. Always be a dreamer. Universe was giving me signs that you should definitely read it, but universe didn't tell me that I will be feeling so deeply about this. But it's fine. That is the point of literature, that you should definitely feel deeply about it. And if I would not have felt so deeply about this book, I would not have recorded this book talk video, because I am very lazy. So this brings us to the end of this book talk video, and I think I have been very repetitive in this entire thing. And um, I'm very happy if you have watched it till the end despite my coughing. uh, and thank you so much for watching. See you in the next episode of Book Talk series.